What's up, guys? This is James at Locking the Value and CopyMyCrypto.com talking to you today about the wonderful world of crypto. And I do believe it's wonderful, and I'll get into why in a second. Before I do, as always, the spreadsheet's updated. These are just the first 26 coins I spoke about on YouTube that I thought would crush it in this bull cycle. If you'd invested $100 into each one, you'd actually be in profit for 17,700, which, given the enormous corrections that we've been dealing with, is still pretty great. Phantom is my number one pick for the year. At one point, literally 2 months ago, it was up about 180x. It was at 90 cents. Now I got in at like 0.5%. So very happy with that. I'm only in a few of these now. The rest have been compounding into cryptos that I know are going to end up already giving me better returns, and are setting me up for filthy stinking rich retirement as opposed to just retirement, which is what I'm on now. If you're new to crypto, check out Copy My Crypto. It's where I share my portfolio. I'm not in, like I say, I'm not in most of these. The trick of the game is compounding into projects that you know are going to get you good returns in the long run. Crypto is a long game. And if you want to quit your 9 to 5, you want to get out of that bloody crappy job or that work cycle you don't want, take this opportunity, check out the website and check out the success stories. I was working a 9 to 5 literally a few years ago, and crypto has allowed me to retire. And now my journey is about getting retirement to the degree that I never have to ever worry about anything ever, ever, ever. I want to be filthy stinking rich, and if you want to join me on that journey, check it out so you can quit your 9 to 5. Right, guys. Let's talk Bitcoin. Let's talk crypto. Okay, the reason that I am not worried about any of this dip or this correction, and I think it's still going to extend a little bit longer, but the metrics on what big boys are doing is really important here, along with just perspective. Long-term perspective is such a big thing. So firstly, Microstrategy bought another basically $500 million in Bitcoin. They're now sitting on 105,000. They are just unrelenting. Michael Saylor just wants to keep going and going and going. Gotta respect it. And I just wanted to go through some of the information. Now, Twitter usually is a haven for just idiots, but one thing that's good is you do get a lot of decent posts from people over the if you bother to look, as opposed to listening to trolls. The Bitcoin illiquid supply change is increasing, and what that means is more and more and more and more Bitcoin is leaving exchanges. In the last few days, we can see the enormous amount of change in terms of Bitcoin being bought up and moved around. We will see that reflected in the price sooner or later. That's an inevitability. The fact that we are seeing more people buying up Bitcoin, and it's whales, make no mistake about it, it is whales. In the past 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whales have bought up about an additional 90,000, and that's when you're not including institutions like bloody Microstrategy. That's when you're just talking about individual wallets. Bitcoin's getting bought up, and there's a lot to unpack. You've got to bear this in mind. And this is something I really wanted to show people. Look at the overlap in the charts here. So you've got the current price. So this is the white line here is our current bull cycle. Yes? The blue line, our 2018 bull cycle. Now, look at the length of time it was for consolidation for that first bull cycle in Bitcoin. Very long time, very long time. And we could see the same principle apply here. These charts are matching up very closely at the moment. Doesn't mean that it's going to be exact, but the 2013 and the 2021 cycles right now are rhyming a hell of a lot. And it is important to have that perspective and remember that. because this bull cycle hasn't had a blow off top. Just hasn't. There's nothing, and the news that changes over time is staggering. This is a post by Charlie Shrem. I'm sure everyone's seen it today at this point. And this was the statements about Bitcoin each year. No one uses it in 2010. Only computer nerds use it in 2012. Only drug dealers use it in 2013. Only money launderers in 2014. Only gamblers in 2017. 2019, only a small percentage of people use it. 2020, only small companies use it. Only small countries use it. So what's next? Only small continents, I reckon. But this has been the evolution. You've got to bear in mind, it's 11 years. Well, technically it's a bit long, but 11 years, let's call it. And that's the evolution of Bitcoin. From no one uses it, which fairly true, to only small countries use it. Context, people, context. And this is the consolidation period it's compared. Look, the 2013 was around about 100, between 174 and 197 days, really. 197 days till it really kicked into gear. 2017's, that lasted 55 days. Now, 2021 was so far, we're 66 days from basically the peak to this point now. So the consolidation period, I think we're going to see something very similar, potentially 100 plus. Well, I'm almost certain it'll be 100 plus days, but we could have potentially 197 days, right? Which is another, call it 4 months, right? And in that time, I don't think it will last that long, but we're going to have an extended consolidation period. And this chart is rhyming quite well here. Particularly when you look back and you reflect on this. And one thing I wanted to point out, there have been so many comments about China recently. This is literally an article. Look at the date. 2013. China bans banks from handling Bitcoin trade. This happened in 2013. We're all sick of this nonsense. You know, there were article after article after article in 2013. So article after article after article in 2017 and 18 about China. And we've had it again in 2021. But nothing has changed. And actually, one thing that's changed, one thing that's definitely dramatically changed, is the amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum that have left exchanges, that are leaving exchanges constantly. And why is that? Because people and particularly institutions, particularly whales, have a long-term perspective. And if you're panicked about the market, that's a short-term mindset. It does suck. It's not overly nice to see the market down, but it's not. The only way it bothers you is if you're thinking, I need this money right now. If you're thinking 5 years down the line, you should be looking at the market going, don't care, don't care. And that's it. I think there's so much that is positive about this market right now, particularly when you break down the fact that we've got institutions still buying, we've got countries looking at adoption. Panama's another one that's come out and they're putting a bill forward to utilize Bitcoin as legal tender. This is constant. This keeps happening. This is a good thing. And this, at the moment, the price actually has done really well from my perspective. You know, we were looking at that death cross, and everyone was, you know, it's very easy to get swept up in the death cross because it's so dramatic sounding. But let me just get on to coin market cap. Bitcoin's sitting at 32,200, right? It's actually held fairly well, given that this death cross was almost signaling that we were going to end up seeing like 20 to 25,000 for a Bitcoin, and I still think it can dip to that price. But remember the Wyckoff accumulation phase. This feels like we're hitting the spring element of it, and I think there'll still be a dip, but I don't think it's going to be as dramatic or as bad as as people were expecting. 20 to 25,000, that range is the low for Bitcoin. Ethereum potentially is 1,200 down to anywhere from 1,200 to 1,500. But after that, I think we bottom out and the market starts again. I mean, the question is really, and you've got to look at it. You've got to look at it from your perspective, as I do mine. How low can Bitcoin get before everyone starts rebuying it because it's too low? You know, MicroStrategy bought 13,000 Bitcoin at an average of 37,000. So the long-term perspective of MicroStrategy is I don't care. I don't care that it's going down. It's a good buying opportunity, and he'll probably buy again. Because his actual investment is down at the moment. MicroStrategy has purchased 2.7141 billion worth of Bitcoin at an average price of 26,000. So the overall investment for MicroStrategy is down. But long-term perspective has not, like, Michael Saylor's perspective has in no way changed. He's continued buying. I am sure when Bitcoin drops, and I think Bitcoin will almost certainly drop below 30,000, but we'll probably see 28 as a sort of point of resistance. But if it smashes through that, it drops down to 25 fairly easily. But I'm sure we'll see, again, institutions buying at 25. We'll see companies buying at 25,000. And there's going to be a mark where Bitcoin can't keep dropping, or it will stop dropping because people are buying up again. And that's sort of where we're at. Remember this chart. Remember this, I think, and remember the Wyckoff accumulation. We're there. We're now in this spring territory. It might last a couple of months or it might last a couple of weeks, but we're going to see Bitcoin. We're going to see some more prices drop. But it's temporary. It's just temporary. And I feel pretty good, actually. The fact that Bitcoin didn't capitulate completely, because there was a shot that Bitcoin could drop sort of 20% over like a couple of days. After that death cross kicked into gear on Saturday, I thought it was feasible. And the fact that it hasn't hold fairly firm above that 30k mark, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But that's all short term. Long term, 500,000 per Bitcoin, I still believe will happen. This year, I don't think we'll see, I think we'll still see 100,000 for Bitcoin, but I don't think we'll see much more. But we'll see. We'll see. Depends on the momentum. But fundamentals haven't changed, guys. And if ever there was a great tweet, Charlie Shrem came out with this one, and I love it. And it should remind you guys of what the hell has happened in 11 years. Staggering. I'd be interested to see his timescale of Ethereum as well, because that would be very interesting in 4 or 5 years down the line when everything's built on it. Anyway, that's it from me. Yeah, I feel very good actually. If you're brand new to crypto, check out Copy My Crypto. It's perfect for anyone that's new, because you can see exactly what I've got, why I've got it, and the benefits of all the coins I hold, and the potential profit, because I go through that as well. Get started on building your wealth. This is going to be the biggest wealth generation event of your lifetime. So make sure you're holding good hands. And make sure, well, good coins, you know what So check it out. Link is in the description. All right. Have a good day. Bye bye.